We're gonna go ahead and start because they know it's a very sad time.
Yes, it is. It is.
But uh you had to know this was coming.
Oh, well, okay. I knew some. I didn't know whom is what it was.
Oh, gotcha. And this is proof though, I believe that this is I have not spoiled anything for you.
That
Like
is
I
true.
like I knew that our dearly departed Jace was heading into the afterworld.
Into the depths.
Yes, from this. And I once again it's
Is that how they
rougher
did
for
it in the
me.
book?
Huh?
Is that the way he went out? Is that how they did it in the book?
Yeah, yeah. I won't say on this video what one of the tweets said that how he was taken out.
No, yeah, I saw that
Okay,
tweet.
okay,
I
you saw it.
saw
All
that.
right, all right. So I don't want to say it.
Yes.
Um, right, but yet, yeah, he was taken out by three arrows by, ironically, the Triarchy. So, yeah. So
Raina's
first,
grounded. I don't care. Go to your room. I don't want to see your face. Why you thought you could go get a crash out dragon after 10 minutes and be like, you know what? Let's go to war. I don't want to see her face for the rest of the season.
so all right.
Go back to
So
that mountaintop and eat sheep.
if nobody can guess, we were talking about House of the Dragon, season three,
All
episode
right, I'll
one.
let you do your intro
Right,
now.
that premiered last night, June 21st, Sunday. Yes. So let's go through the episode. So basically, it starts off. I mean, even though it's been 2 years since we've seen anything happen, it picks up like seconds from where we ended in season
Yes.
two, the finale. With we have Raina and on in the Vale, bonding with Sheep Stealer. I mean, the fact that he hasn't like burned her or eaten her is about as bondy as they are in these first few seconds. Then we go to the Red Keep, and Aemond is immediately racially profiling Maester Orwell.
Yes. Oh
When he
my
knows that
gosh.
Aegon's gone, is about to chop his head off. They stop him and say, "Hey, Laris is gone too." So, like, calm down with the head choppy stuff. And, like, they do a very good job of showing just how, like, his impetuousness and his impulsivity, like that he's kind of a mirror to Damon, but this is so basically Orwell gets to save his head. And they immediately cut to the fact that like Aegon is with Laris and they're in the back of this truck carriage, I guess. There's no trucks back then.
It's a truck. Yeah, close enough.
And he's going through withdrawals. He's wanting milk and coffee. And I think Laris kind of in a way of controlling, maybe in a way to control Aegon at this moment is, I mean, obviously didn't pack any drugs, when they're like trying to, like, he's like, listen, your brother's trying to kill you. Okay, get out of here.
Right.
Should we mention the fact that Lara seemed to have a glow up from,
I thought so too, and I thought why, but
well,
okay.
but it was like, okay, I was like, because I kept looking at it, something looks different. And then I was like,
Yes.
oh, like you completely don't look as disheveled and crazy and greasy as you did
He's,
in,
running away with the king. He's trying to start a new life, turn over a new leaf. So,
right? Using some of that hair care product.
right.
So soldiers that are loyal to Rhaenyra stop them. Lyra saves their lives in the meantime by revealing, much to Aegon's chagrin, his identity.
I mean, was Aegon just prepared to die right then? Because, like, I
I
get why he didn't want to denounce himself, but, like,
sure
it was say the words and go on with your day or die. And he was,
right.
like, fully prepared to just die right there.
Yeah, I part of me believes that he doesn't really ever think he's. I mean, I know he's been injured and he's in severe pain, but almost like he doesn't know if he can. Like, I don't know if his mortality even like registers to him
He's
right now.
so entitled and has been so protected that even though he's been hurt, he thinks like there's no way. Like
Sure. I
I've
mean,
got the
like,
blood of the dragon.
right. I mean, you had the queen who never was,
Ugh,
Rhaenys.
Rhaenys.
Yeah, it's just like she shows up with Maylis and basically looks him in the eye with her dragon, doesn't burn him, should have,
Should
like
have.
he gets away from that. he survives things over and over again. So it's like I don't know if his mortality is even like he's probably so arrogant that it just doesn't even register. But
Right.
anyways, they end up saving Hitler ends up saving their lives in a way by announcing who he is. Rhaenyra is still high on Alicent's visit, thinking optimistically this is all going to work out. Which I mean, in all fairness to her, I get why everybody else is like this is a trap, but we are privy to having seen the conversation and knowing that Alicent is fully willing to be like, I'm done with this. There's
Right.
too much time. Let's get out of here. Even though her Rhaenyra's girl toy at the moment is like
Mistress of
seems like a
Whispers.
slight, seems like a very very small punishment for everything that's going on. But I get like how the two of them are just like, we just kind of want this over. This is starting to spin wildly out of control. So she's optimistic about it's happening. She wants Corlys and Daemon to return and help her in King's Landing. In the meantime, Alicent returns to King's Landing and finds that all of her plans are shot to hell because
Yeah.
Aemon is still there. He's supposed to be on his way to Harrenhal, and Aegon is gone.
Not
So,
only is he Aemon there, he's on the Iron Throne.
right. A very, very unhygienic Iron Throne that can kill somebody even if they just nick their fingers. So,
Yes.
Aemon tells her that basically Ormond Hightower, which Ormond is her cousin because that's Otto's nephew. Ormond Hightower and Darien are on their way to fortify King's Landing with an army. And that Rhaenyra's blockade is about to be broken by the Triarchy. In the meantime, Daemon's army has defeated.
Wait.
Yeah.
I felt as though Alicent was laying it on a little thick, trying to convince him to go.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that because we haven't
Oh,
really
okay.
gotten to her. We haven't gotten
Speaking
to
of laying things on thick.
Yeah, because that just gets weird. Yeah. Daemon's army has defeated the Lannisters.
Yes.
And out pop the Winter Wolves, led by Roderick Dustin, which is Tommy Flanagan from Gladiator.
Yes.
Yay, love
Yes.
him.
Loved
He
that.
throws him Jason Lannister's head. Now that is actually the battle at Red Fork, which Daemon is not a part of in the book. So, and I don't even believe the Winter Wolves are even part of it. That's a whole different battle. We don't
Gotcha.
really ever see that, but there are so many battles that happen in this period of, I believe it's like the year 130, and I don't know if they do 80, I don't know how to do it, but it's like the period of 130. There are so many battles that they're kind of like, they just can't do them all. I mean, I
Right.
know people
Right.
want them all, but you just can't because there are going to be some people in some factions and some houses that you're not going to see any of the main players, and I don't know
Yeah.
if people really care.
No, that's
So,
fair. Obviously,
right.
we love the fight choreography and the blood and guts, but that gets expensive.
Right. So that is going to be like Doug said. They just kind of made that the Battle of the Red Fork because that's where Jason Lannister dies, but he doesn't die at the hands of any of those people. But we still get the line of I'm ready to die for the like we're here to die for the Queen, which is great because
Yes.
as everybody knows, the Winter Wolves have left. They're a group of old men who have left the North in order to save resources for the men, women, and children with the upcoming winter. Like, so they're fully prepared, which they do get crazy. I won't spoil too much of it, but when they feel like there hasn't been enough payback and enough bloodshed over what has happened in the kingdom, they kind of take things into their own. They're like,
Yeah.
no, we are going to dispense justice because we don't plan on. We know it's over. Like everything's done, the fighting's done, and not enough of us that died.
This was a one-way trip for us, so
somebody's gonna I'm taking.
Yeah.
It's that whole Denzel thing. Like I'm gonna take something with me.
Right. I'm leaving here with something. Yeah.
Taking something with me. So that's just way off in the future. But in the meantime, like we do get to see them. It's very neat to see again. Like I said, Tommy Flanagan from Gladiator, just great. He was,
I love. He's
great stuff.
Yeah.
So we also have Gawain Hightower, which is Alicent's brother.
Yes.
Appeals to Moki Kristen Cole, who's apparently doing arts and crafts at this moment.
He's emo now.
Yes, he's very, very, very mopey. And realizing that part of his, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, it's part of his hand in this, even though he is the hand. He played a role in the escalation of all this, and
Oh,
realizes after
100%.
seeing the dragons, like, we're not in control. This is their fight. We are just going to be food. Like, this is crazy.
He alluded to that last season as well.
Right.
I hate Crispy Cole. I hate him so much. But last season and then doubling down on it in this first episode, he's not wrong. And I understand why he's like, I'm just gonna do my arts and crafts over here because nothing matters. I see it. I still hate that man.
I was gonna say,
But
you
he's
can
not
two
wrong.
things can be true.
Right.
You can understand it, and you can hate that he can be the
Yes.
deliverer of the message that
Yes.
we all know, right? So then we also have all Hugh and Adam are all waiting on the Isle of Faces. It's the God's Eye kind of,
Yes.
and for Aemon to show up, and they're kind of all just kind of debating on like what's what even the purpose of all this, and they're setting the stage of, again, this is going to be kind of a spoiler alert for the ultimate. There's going to be a betrayal within one of them. One of them is going to betray Queen Rhaenyra because of the talk of lords versus knights. You know, when he was like, "You're not getting," when I think it was Hugh that was like, or Adam saying, "You don't get a house, you don't get a castle if you're a knight. You get a horse." And he's like, "I'm going to do with a horse. I got a dragon, right?"
Dragon.
Like, I don't, I
You
don't
get more
need a
women
horse.
as a knight. You get more women with the castle.
Right. So Alice Rivers shows up, and she shows up initially, I believe, that the goat green men looking thing that we see in the top of the hill with the
Yeah.
horns. That's a green men who they are the Isle. They guard the Isle of Faces. They're a religious group, obviously. We've seen them previously. Really heavy religious faction though. And all see when all asks like, "Who are you?" and she's like, "I'm a witch." She's like, I'm out. Like,
That's like that was it. That was his final straw, which to be fair, again, if I have a dragon, I don't need a horse. If I'm sitting here waiting for days and days and days and nothing happens, and then something shows up and they say they're a witch, I'm leaving. I'm
right,
done. I did
right,
not sign up for this.
right. Because there's proof that dragons exist, so I obviously am going to believe that witches exist.
Right.
So
Yeah, you have no reason not to. She says she's a
mm,
witch, 100% believe her.
right, especially when something shows up a little freaky, and then like all of a sudden she pops out. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm gone.
Yeah.
So Allison forges a letter to Ormond Hightower to stop heading towards King's Landing. And I believe, I can't really remember this part, but I don't know, does she tell him to go to Harrenhal? Like, does she tell him to meet Aemon at Harrenhal? Or does
I
she
think
just,
so.
because I know there is going to be a battle with Ormond Hightower and him getting kind of surrounded by other like groups, Team Black groups. It isn't going to be, they might change it for the show, but he's going to get kind of surrounded, and it's going to be end up being that Darian, her other son, and his dragon Tessarion kind of step in and kind of save the day on that. But now we have Corlys and Alan are finally having about we about to die talk, you know, and they, you know, like, sorry I didn't do right by your mom. I'm sorry I didn't do right by you, but we about to die, so we're gonna have this start to heart.
That's exactly what it was. Like 100% it
Yeah.
was we're about to die.
Mm.
Let's not make up completely, but let's humanize our
Acknowledge.
characters a
Yes.
little bit.
Let's acknowledge that there is some sort of history between
Yes.
us before, and kind of set the stage of like when Alan does, I don't want to say step in to save Corlys, because he really at that moment doesn't really know where he's at, but we're gonna get to that. And then they get attacked by the Triarchy. Tywin Lannister and Shirako Lohor, who was a male in the book, but I don't mind them changing because like she's so good.
I
She's so
think she did
hateable.
phenomenal. I didn't know it was a male in the book, but I love what she did with the character. I liked her a lot.
So hateable. But I mean, like, she's so fierce, and she's saying, like, you can just instantly tell that her motives in this fight are not going to be lining up with
Oh
the
yeah.
House Green and the Lannisters. So they debate on the best strategy. She mocks him for wearing all his armor, says, you're basically going to be swimming with fishes, keep wearing that. He's wanting to kind of just block off everyone. He's wanting to just keep the blockade,
The
kind of
strategic
blockade.
route.
Right. Yeah. And do that because he's like, we don't want the dragons, we don't want the dragons involved in this. Or at least
Right.
if we're all gathered together, the dragons won't be able to tell us apart, which kind of funny later. But he's like, if we all gather together, the dragons are going to be less like they're not as precise with their dragon fire. So
Right.
but her beef with Corlys outweighs her giving a shit for any fight that's
Any of it.
any of it. Like she's like, Daemon Corlys handed our asses to us in that fight, and I have not gotten over it, and I have my own motives. Like she's like, I did not sign up for this. I signed up for my own motives, but
Right.
I'm glad. Allison convinces, and then Allison convinces Aemon to go to Harrenhal, and we once again see his mommy issues because we have seen that in previous, I believe in season 2, where he's with the prostitute and he's got his mommy issues where she's much older than him, and right. So he clearly has some mommy issues and lays it. Allison is trying everything, like you were alluding to, everything at this moment. She's appealing to his ego. She's appealing to his fear. She is like,
I was
God.
like, she was making it too obvious, like he's gonna know something is up. I thought because the way they framed the shot, he has his little dagger and it was like right there in frame, and I'm like, oh, he's about to stab his mom. He's going right off the deep end, and he's getting closer, and I'm like, oh, what's about to happen? I was like, the director in me is like, okay, so now the knife is out of frame. He's gonna pull it out and stab her, but it's gonna be from her POV or his POV, so all you're gonna see is her eyes get really big. And I'm like, okay. And then they get closer, and I'm like, no, wait a minute.
Oh,
I
oh,
was not ready.
you're like, can we go to the stabbing and
Right.
not the flesh kind? Like this is
Right.
where how
I was
brothers and
so
split
sure,
the
like when I
foot.
saw the knife, I was like, this is how Allison dies. He's caught on because she is being way too obvious. She's trying way too hard. He knows something is up. He's gonna kill her. And then I saw the knife at his side. I was like, that's how Allison goes out. Blindsided completely. Obviously, she was too.
Yeah, that is not in the book. His mommy love is not in the book, so that was like, ooh, like
He is a
he
Targaryen.
right, which is wild because we have been introduced to so many incestual relationships that it's like, thankfully, like my brain still is like when some of it had
Right, right. We
like
haven't
okay,
been
like
desensitized to incest all the
right, like
way.
right, like brothers and sisters and nieces and uncles we have
Yeah,
seen it all. It's like it's still like every once in a while you're like, oh, like I do have a line, like thank God it's still there,
right.
like
It's still there. It's way out there, but it's still there.
the show hasn't completely like ruined me forever. So yes, he leans in, gives her a kiss, and she's like, I love that Barbie face,
Yeah,
that everybody
that
keeps
was perfect. But she was, I say, smart enough to not like completely pull away because she knows that her son is very unhinged and unstable
right.
and has the knife at his side, which I alluded to. So like she wasn't into it, thankfully, but she was
Right.
smart enough to not like pull away and slap him, which she would have been within her rights to do, but she would have died like right after. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had to. Yeah, she had to just grin and bear it and just
yeah.
love you too, son. Back.
Yeah.
Um, so we then give it Rhaenyra hears the Triarchy is attacking the blockade and wants to join the fight, and Jace commands the Queen's Guard that like, listen, her biggest enemy is herself. Like, you can't have her. Which yes and no. Like, I get it. It's like he is right that she can't jump into like this whole fight is for you to gain the throne. You can't jump into every fight.
Right.
However, he's not, I mean, he's not Damon, like he's not schooled at fighting. And he convinces Bela to, like, hey, let's do this together.
I told Sarah, well, first when he got in the Kingsguard face, I said, "Boy, sit down. You have lost every fight." I literally said, "You are not Daemon." Like he's like threatening the Kingsguard. Like you took it. What? Like sit down. You have lost every fight you've ever been in. There is no bass in your voice. But like you said, you are like you're the most important piece on the chessboard on our side. We're not saying you can never fight, but wanting to jump into everything
Right.
is not the best move for you. I also felt like when she was locked in that room, she was going on about how like no one wants to believe in her. They don't think she can handle. They like all the men want to protect her, and like that's the problem. Which that has been the constant theme since season one, episode one. So I'm not saying that's not true, but in their kind of defense, right before you decided to jump in the battle, you were trying to convince the council that Alicent was now on your side and was willing to offer up her son. Like, it's not completely on them to be like, yo, this woman's crazy,
Right.
maybe. But like, I also don't want to dismiss the fact that yes, the men in this show historically, like, do not trust in or trust these women. It's like I'm not saying that wasn't happening again when she kind of goes on her rant in her quarters, but like you have to realize that you were losing support because you're going over here. I'm sneaking over to talk to Allison. Now Allison's sneaking over here to talk to me. Guys, listen, listen. No, I know nobody was there. However, we're gonna march over there. Everybody's gonna be gone. Allison's going to offer up her son so I can kill him. Like, yeah, I'd be locking you in your room too.
Yeah, I mean, and in fairness to Jace, the House Green hasn't really lost anybody in any dragons.
No, except for
It's
those
been
infants.
it's been his brother and it's been Rhaenys.
Yes.
Like they're losing, and he's like, look, like we're taking hits here. Like we kind of need you around to, like, you had this great idea of giving all these non-dragon people dragons, and so it's like again, if you're gone, who's manning this ship? Like
Yeah, well,
like
then she's like, and if I go, like, you'll finally be king. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't throw that in his
right.
face because that's not what, like, again, there are
It's never
more.
been his goal. Like he's never said
Exactly. Yeah.
that he's like, oh, I can't wait to be king. Like she's kind of thrown that at him as if he's been saying, like, can't wait for us to rule, can't wait for us to
Right.
rule. Like, don't throw that in his face. Like
Yeah.
that's a
At
low
no
blow because
point
he's
has
never
that been his goal. He's trying to
right.
keep you alive.
Right. Like you're confusing him with Damon. Like, don't do that. It's like
Exact
your
that
kid.
and
Like,
that was my
let's
thing. And like I didn't want it to come off as like she just thinks all the men are against her because again, from like the first episode, it's been proven that like the men don't trust the women.
well,
But in
in
this particular
fairness, Corliss really didn't put up a fight when Rhaenys,
that is true.
like,
That's
I
true.
mean, he might have like voiced his concerns, but he never said like you can't, like
Right.
he was like she's a dragon rider and I sail ships, and I'm not
Yeah.
saying that he sees himself as lesser than, but I mean like he was like it. That's so not all of them, just the
Not
ones
all of them,
he
true.
had
Yeah.
thrown.
Right, right. But yeah, when she was in that room going on about how the men, I'm like, yes, but in this particular situation, like try to see it from their point of view. Like I realize tensions are high, but like in this situation, if I'm Jace, I'm thinking the same thing because they've been kind of button heads since the end of last season,
Right,
and this really just put it over the edge. But also that Kingsguard is dead. Like he's dead now. Like
sure.
Jace ain't coming back. Like you're done. You're
Yeah, I'm
done.
kind of wondering when they keep showing that like you have all betrayed, like when she screams like you have all betrayed me, if that's the who she's screaming at is like the
Yeah.
key part, and like them not, I mean, obviously because she just keeps losing kids left and right. And it's
Yeah.
like they really haven't even dealt with in this episode at least, and I don't know how they're going to deal with it with Viserys or children Viserys and Aegon that she has with Damon, because they were on, which I love the name of the ship is called the Gay Abandon, like hello for Pride Month. That's great.
Yes.
That like they are attacked by the Triarchy, and one of them is taken hostage. The other one flies back to Dragonstone on his dragon, but the dragon ends up dying because it's very young and he's been shot, and he makes it back. but then it's like, I'm never right with dragon again. But that's like stuff that they haven't really even covered yet. So like they haven't even dealt with those kids. But I mean, like in
I
the meantime,
forgot they
she
existed for a little bit, and Sarah's like, "Yeah,
right.
no, remember Raina like had to take the kids and the eggs." I was like, definitely forgot about that.
Yeah. So like we haven't seen them, but I mean like that could be a future. I mean, obviously a future episode. But Jason Bela end up and they had to fight and they join the fight. Corliss leads is it Shirako? I'm gonna say it's Shirako. It's
Yeah,
Sharako. So Shirako through a narrow pass, taking out a couple of her ships.
that
She
was
throws the
cool.
weighted armor dudes
That
over.
was, I thought that whole scene was phenomenal. You got to see how good of a naval commander Corliss was.
Yes,
I liked her confidence, hubris of being like, no, we're gonna follow him, and literally everyone being like, yeah, you're not him, but her
right,
doing it anyway. Her throwing the other Lannister and all his guys off the ship, bringing it full circle back to the armor conversation.
right.
I thought that was a great little mid-fight cutaway. I thought those scenes were great.
100%, yes. So you see Jason Bela and they are taking out some of the Triarchy ships. Corliss sees high when they finally make it through that little narrow pass. He sees that High Tide, Driftmark, Spice Town, it's all on fire,
Which is what she wanted.
which is what she wanted because she wanted to take away from him what they took away from her. Which Spice Town is never rebuilt after this. And
Oh, really?
yeah, Spice Town was never rebuilt after and never gains what it is, which is why I wish we would have gotten. I will get to that. The line is famous in the book, and but what we basically get is that he sees all this and ends up while he's kind of I don't want to say distracted. Shirako attacks his ship with some of the great like best plundering,
Oh,
fighting pirate on the seas fighting that you're gonna see ever. Like
the
so
board,
good.
the 2x4 with the ropes so they all could swing over like six at a time. I had to pause it. I was like, just clapped. Like whoever did their research and saw that, phenomenal.
So good stuff. So they're all fighting. Eventually, he's Alan sees. I think he sees Corliss go over, or he just sees that he's not around anymore.
Right.
Shirako, like laying on her back, jumps over there. They fight underwater. He kills her, and you're kind of left with us not knowing if Corliss lives. But I spoiler alert, Corliss lives. He's really kind of never the same after this. But in the meantime, Reyna has entered the fight with the non-trained sheep stealer who causes chaos because she just took weapon of mass destruction and just kind of let it unleashed with
You
no
should have been able
training.
to tell by the underbite that that thing was not to be trusted. Like, come on now.
People keep calling him Draymond Green of
Yes. It
of
like,
the Dragons.
oh, what a
Yeah, yeah. So in the meantime, Vermax had been hit prior
Mhm.
because the Triarchy knew how to fight the dragons at this point
Yes.
because they had dealt with Daemon and his dragons. So they had kind of already been a little schooled on how to take these down. Vermax gets hit once. I believe it's Moon. Is it Moon
Moon
Dancer?
Dancer.
Yeah, Bela's dragon saves it for a brief
That was
moment of
cool.
time.
That
But
was cool.
because of Sheep Stealer causing all the chaos, Vermax gets hit again, and in a scene that I was unable to watch because I just will not watch any dragon get killed.
I
Goes
watched
on
it, did not appreciate it.
goes under the water. Jace is strapped to him, gets free, gets up to the top, and is immediately taken out by the Triarchy with arrows and is killed. Um, so at the end of this, Corliss loses about it, like in the book, he loses about a third of his ships, and only 28 of the 90 that the Triarchy had make it back. And in fact, Shirako lives, like makes it through that fight, and him in the book is kind of because it's Mir and I forgot that it's like I forgot Mir and some Tyroshis. I'm sorry, Tyros. They kind of all blame him that the majority of the ships that were taken out were not the Triarchy. They were more of the of Mir and Tyros ships, and that like
Mm,
we're so focused on saving yourself and your people that we
yeah.
all so like that ends up leading to like a three daughters wore like later on, but I don't know if that'll ever be covered because I don't know if that really has too much to do with this.
We'll get a
But yeah,
one season spin-off of it at some point.
right. Like I said, Corlys loses a third of his ships. He loses High Tide, his castle. He loses Driftmark. He loses um, Spice Town. And the quote in the book at the end of this is because it's a strategic win for the House Black, but it's like a moral victory for House Green. And
For sure.
Corlys's line is, "If this be a victory, I pray I never win another," which is like
Mm.
a great
That
line.
is heavy.
That's heavy. That right. That if this be victory, I pray I never win another, because he loses so much out of this.
Yeah.
And so I hope that he gives the line next week. That would be great. But if not, that's just showing you how he feels about this ultimate battle that happened in the Battle of the Gullet, which is what
Yeah.
it's called. Yeah, so impressions.
I I loved the episode. It was great to jump back into. I mean, they're related, but coming off Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which was great. It was nice to jump back into something where, like, going in, like, because of all the buildup, we are in the middle of a war, people are dying, and being in the Game of Thrones universe, like, nobody is safe. We know that, especially if you've read the books. Again, I knew people. I thought Sea Snake was done. I believed like this was it for him. This was his last hurrah. I knew people were going to die. I didn't think it was going to be Jace, at least not in this first episode. R.I.P. to Jason Vermax. Um, but I thought they're still telling multiple stories, and I think they did a pretty good job of getting us back up to speed and like moving all of those stories forward. I will say the scenes with the three new dragon riders and talking about the knights and the castle. I won't say we could have done without it because they all do play an important part, but I will say within that episode, that story was the B or the C or the D story was like the weakest. But I also realized they didn't have a whole lot happening. So like we got people fighting over here, we got Rhaenyra dealing with her family, we got Alice like that one was the weakest, and I feel like you could have pushed that whole thing back a week, but at the same time, based off the timelines and where people were supposed to be, I get it. Like they kind of had to show it.
And they had to show it because I think people who've read the book would want to know where they were, because they are actually the ones in the Battle of the Gullet.
Gotcha.
They're so Bela and Rhaena are not at the Battle of the Gullet. All like those, the Nettles, Ulf, and Hugh are all, and yeah, and Adam, they're all at the Battle of the Gullet. And in fact, it really messes with them seeing like the destruction and the fact that like yes, a dragon can be brought down, like that they're not just involved in,
You're not invincible.
right, to just be, yeah, so like it changes like Nettles and Adam like in a complete way. They're just very shaken up by it. The other two are less so. But I think that was the reason that they put that. Plus I think they did that and they had that conversation about knights versus lords, because it does play a factor in
Right.
when one of
Okay.
them
Yeah.
does flip sides. And it's because it ultimately is they're wanting property.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Overall, I
they,
thought it was a really good episode. I
sure.
love naval battles that do them well. That was my biggest that was what I was most excited about for Gladiator 2, with having the naval battles inside the Colosseum, seeing that in the trailer. So I loved that. I love the violence. I know I've talked about Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Like sometimes, as much as I love good storytelling, sometimes I just like seeing skulls get bashed in. So
Sure, 100%. Like that's why people are watching that to begin with. It's
yeah,
just like that's I'm
yeah,
wanting to see violence. And like somebody said, it's like it's weird that we got the finale of season 2 2 years later, but
right.
but he like
Honestly, But no,
So I
I
mean,
thought it was a really good episode. I thought the dialogue, I thought the acting performances were really good, which has been one of the great things about Game of Thrones in general, is it can deliver, Michael Bay type action,
sure,
but also give you good acting performances. Whereas, like Michael
sure,
Bay's is just like explosions everywhere with like a third grade script. Like
right.
this gives you everything, and this episode did all of that.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal. I know not everybody's gonna be thrilled with all the choices of the changes that have been made from the book. Um, I mean, obviously I'm gonna rewatch the episode again to see like what flows, what doesn't, but I think ultimately the choices, I mean, I think like the choice, like with I said originally that's the battle of what I call it, the battle at Red Fort, where
Yes.
Jason Lannister is taken out by the Winter Wolves and Daemon. Like that doesn't happen in that, but I get why you do that because again, you can't have ever like I think there's like battle at Acorn Hall. Like there are going to be like so many small battles here and there that happen that we just can't cover them, and they're going to have to like much like with they took Bela and they combined her with the character of Nettles, who is the one that ends up riding Sheep Stealer. Like sometimes you have to take I don't want to say things that are not that important because again, Nettles is very important to the story, but where you can combine stories, you have to.
Yeah,
Like
for
you
sure.
just you have to. So it's like
You can take a lot more liberties in a book versus a live action due to budget, due to time. You can't
right,
dedicate a whole chapter to flesh out this character in a show when you've got all of these different actors that you're also paying lots of money. It's like sometimes
right.
like I get that people don't like it, but sometimes you have to do that.
Sometimes you have to do it. Like that's and I know like so, well then don't do it at all. Well, that's crazy because like this is some great TV and these are like movie quality like episodes. Like
I've
that
seen
was
some tweets like that where like if you're gonna change it that much, just don't do it. I'm like, I'm blocking you. I don't need that energy on my timeline today.
negativity in my life. Like that's crazy. That's then don't watch it. Here, even better.
Yeah, or
You don't
that.
watch
There's your
it.
choice.
You're like, you don't watch it. I'm gonna watch it and be
Yeah,
fine. So yeah, ultimately, like I said, um, some things might like right now, I'm not gonna be too like thumb on the scale too judgy about it because I think the season needs to be looked at as a whole. I mean, like obviously if there's going to be a stinker of an episode, we'll call it out. But like right now with it, the first episode and a lot of stuff happened and you're getting back into it and they had a huge like 27-minute battle, which is going to take up a lot of, I think was it 75 minutes was the first episode.
yes.
It's going to take up a lot of that time. You're getting everybody, you're showing where all the players are moving on this chessboard. You're having, like I said, some things I'm not going to judge it too heavily right now, unless down the road it doesn't make sense when it plays out longer. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's really
But
fair.
like you said, there are so many pieces on the chessboard that, and again, this is season three. So they have been
Right,
setting up so many things and so many characters. Even with a 75-minute episode, they still had to fit a lot into that to show you where stuff is at. And for some people that might not like it, I get it, but yeah, like we are in the third season, like so they had a lot of storylines and stuff to bring together. I thought they did a good job. Last night, it was at a 9.9 on IMDb, which the first night I never take that into account. It hasn't been a full 24 hours, but as of right now, with 13,000 reviews, it is at a 9.4 out of 10. I'm planning to check again like this evening around 10 o'clock when it's been like a full 24 hours to see where it's at. But 9.4 right now with 13,000 reviews.
pretty decent. And I, when it started last night, and like you immediately get on Twitter and you start to see the tweets, I was
Just warmed
just
my
so
heart.
happy. I
Yes.
was just so
Yeah.
happy for you to finally be
Oh, that was so
in the
good.
community.
Yes. In real time, being caught up, that was great. Well, actually, technically, last season I was able to do that. But
Right.
this
Yeah, no, I
season,
just still was so happy. I was just like, oh, he finally
yes,
gets to like see these like mean tweets that are in like everybody talking crap about
understanding the
everything that happened.
context and being a part of it, because yes, my biggest regret, well, not my biggest regret, but one of my biggest regrets is being very active on Twitter X, whatever you want to call it, at the peak of Game of Thrones
Sure.
and feeling like the Squidward meme of like I'm up in my window watching everybody run outside and play because I'm like, oh, that looks funny, and I knew enough about Game of Thrones to like kind of
Sure.
understand it, but like not to the level where it is now, where it's like no, like I
Right.
fully and I feel this emotionally with you. Like,
Yes, it's right. And so like now it's one of those things where what I love about the Twitter community on when these shows, when House of Dragon and Game of Thrones is on, is it is less of people complaining about the show. It's not, you don't get people on there. I mean, like, yeah, of course I'm sure if you could find people doing reviews and rating and critiquing the episodes, but it's more of just funny. It's more of
it's
just
just
funny.
reacting.
Yeah, it's reacting, but like in like a relatable,
Yes.
funny pop culture kind of way. So it's like, yeah, it's like I said, it's not people crapping on it and it's not poo-pooing it like when a normal show comes on and maybe you can binge the entire thing and people are talking about it, but then they're also you see a whole bunch of criticism about it. A lot of this is just people wanting talking like they're talking to their friends about it.
Yes.
Like I said, like he's the sheep stealer, the Damon Green
The
of
German Green, they have him wearing a Nike mask every time they edit it on. Oh, as soon as I saw that underbite, I knew he couldn't be trusted. Like,
you know people who are like he's got that coke under face.
yes.
So that's what I'm saying is like that kind of stuff is like that's great because like not only do you have to be comfortable and know the show and know what's happening on the show, but then it's like you can talk to because like my daughter came in after uh after the show last night, like when I was going to bed, and I was like, "Did you see this tweet?" And she was like, "I just saw it," and it was like with Destiny's Child,
Yes,
and they were like,
in the raft looking for Jace. Oh, that one was so good. That one
and
I
that's what I'm
was
talking about. Is like you
dying.
get like people were like, "Oh my god, we've all seen the same
Yes.
reactions and jokes about it," and it makes it even like because it's such a heavy. And the thing is, I think those kind of things are needed because it's such a heavy, like dramatic, like weighs on you kind of show. Like this is not light and goodness like it was in the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, even though there were
Right.
a lot of reaction tweets to that too. But this is like you need an outlet to be like coming to terms with what I just saw.
Yes,
These are
100%. And it
children.
is like a big community that is all reacting and feeling the same way in real time. And
Yeah, because we're
like,
watching children die, and we're watching like for us who are like pet owners, these are like big scaly dogs. Like,
yes,
and we're like,
yes.
no, we don't want to lose all of them.
My
So
dog was
yeah,
like sitting in my lap, or his butt was in my lap. And when Vermax was dying, I started like petting him, and he like looked at me. I'm like, no, it's fine, buddy. I'm just sad.
yeah, I'm just like I just couldn't even watch it. I just turned around and looked at my dog. I was
Yeah.
like, I will not bring this negative. I know what is happening. I don't want this negativity in my life, so I don't need to have that as my last. Like, not doing this. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do that tonight. So yeah, good start. Look forward to seeing where this goes from here on out. Lots of people are gonna die. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's I mean, this is not a spoiler to say, but I mean like we will be witnessing the genocide of dragons on this show. There is a reason that is not a spoiler. There is a reason there are none around when Game of Thrones
It's
happened. Like
just bones.
right. And this is the reason why there is nothing but three eggs that are like surviving from
Yeah.
that. So buckle up, everybody. About to get so
Yeah.
yeah, good start. Enjoyed it. Um yeah, I mean, it's gonna take us through the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all right, on that note, we will see you all next week after the next episode and see who else dies and just
Yeah.
House of Dragon bingo, like does everybody die?
Right.
Does Aemon kiss somebody inappropriate? Or no,
It's
does incest happen?
yeah, that's the incest is the free square. That one,
Right.
that one's pretty much guaranteed.
It's Kristen Cole see Mopey again.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to look forward to, and it's gonna be great. So, all right.